In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Then God turned to his Son and said, "Are you sure you want to go through with this?" And Christ saw our world, knowing that he'd be betrayed by a kiss, that he'd have to face every human temptation, that he'd have to die for every man, every nation, even those who would scorn his creation, treating precious life with detached obligation. And speaking in a humble but confident voice, Jesus said, "True love requires a choice." So there in the garden, that perfect, terrible tree grew, and Eve ate from it, and Adam too. But do you really think it wouldn't have been eaten by me and by you? Every day, every hour, we eat that same fruit based on greed, pride, or fear, based on the testimony of the forked tongue whispering in your ear while the rest of his body coils slowly around your neck. When you brush him off, it's easy to see that while sin was brought into our world by their choice at that tree, sin is like a virus. It exists in us, hosting on us, as a fatal disease unique to fallen humanity. We re-enter in a world fit snugly in a Roman Empire-shaped glove, with John the Baptist in the desert preaching grace from above, and the religious leaders brutally persecuting everybody who disagreed with the idea of God they were thinking of. And into all this came some obscure carpenter preaching about this new kind of love. His actions with his words connected, his purity, his humble heart reflected, criticism, his unrestrained compassion deflected, and many eager ears he collected when he spoke of a soul that could be resurrected. Crowds flocked to him like moths from the night, flitting around, some even landing on this glorious, perfect light to a world dead, weary of being sandwiched between the choice of loving Rome to escape death and God to escape hell. He was somebody who just said, "Love both. If somebody wants your cloak, let him have your tunic as well. If they want to shove you, just let them keep shoving." Here was a man who was born loving, lived loving, and died loving. The love of Jesus Christ says, "Look, I know your life seems hard, but mine was hard too. I know you say I don't know your trials because I never sinned, but I do. You fight and fall. I fought, and I achieved resounding victory. Now, which of us do you think understands the enemy's strength more intimately? If you think it's hard to love your friends when one of them goes behind your back, try having one betray you to the brutal attack of those who hate you and watch you die and laugh. If you think it's hard to love your family when they don't believe in you, try being the Son of God and having your brothers doubt your word is true. If you think it's hard to control your hands, what you do, or your feet, where you go, try nailing them down. If you think you struggle with pride, your head gets a little big, try restricting its size in a crown of thorns. If you think you can't control your thoughts or your mind, try filling your head with every single sin against your love that mankind has ever even so much as contemplated. And then try loving these creatures that you know you've created. To call to them, I'd gladly die and go to hell just for the chance you could be with me in heaven while they laugh and mock you as you die. It's by Christ's gracious death we can even cry, my God, why have I forsaken you?" As Christ hung on the cross preparing to die, he raised himself up with a groan, with a sigh, and speaking in a humble but confident voice, Jesus said, "True love has given a choice." Drawing a last painful breath, "It is finished," he cried, and so it was, that in the world he created, God came and God died. 3 days later, it began. In the beginning, God came from the heavens to the earth. Now man was formed but empty. Darkness is over the surface of the deep, but the Spirit of God is hovering in the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there is light.